Hey, this is MissMalini, and highlight of my year already. I have Sami and Juhi Chawla visiting with me at the office today, and we'll just refresh. It's extreme close up.
Sorry, you were saying?
Wait, let me retweet for you. So now you can watch this live on Facebook and on Periscope. And the amazing thing is, you can send in your questions live, and we will definitely ask them for you. So first, I'm so excited that you guys are here.
So that everyone who comes to the show?
No, I don't say that.
You sure?
This much excitement. I'm like particularly excited. Okay, so I'm just going to retweet this for you. Retweet. And if you don't mind retweeting
Yeah. All I know is
we are on air or whatever things. Okay. Are we on air?
We are live on Twitter and Facebook, and everyone is going to be sending you all the questions in.
Okay, fine.
So first I wanted to hear about this film. So I saw the trailer, and the movie's actually out already, right?
Yes.
So tell me something. Tell me a little bit about the film. It's kind of a very different sort of story, and very sort of nostalgic about school in a way, you know, because it's about school teachers and all the things that happen there. So tell me what the film's about for anyone who hasn't seen it yet.
Juhi?
Okay, so yes, this is a story of two women, very regular, everyday people that you meet on the streets, and it happens to be that they're teachers. And that's when the story kind of starts, sets you up, takes you not just to classes, but to corridors, to the principal's office, to trustees' offices.
Yeah.
And you realize what goes on at the back end of schools, which is something that one hasn't seen.
Yeah.
And then from there, there's a twist and turn in the story, and the drama begins, the press gets involved, and how this issue becomes a nationally known affair, and how it's resolved on.
And so what's your character? What's your character about? I saw very sort of happy, shiny, bubbly character.
That's Juhi Chawla.
That's who you are as well.
And that's also what my character is like. Yeah, she's a teacher, but at the same time, she does take interest in dance, and then she does mimic and make voices and stuff, and entertain her friends. But she's got strength of character.
Yeah,
and that comes across as the story. Yeah, as the drama goes on.
And what about you, Samir?
Firstly, as far as the film is concerned, I think a couple of things I think you might want to add is it's a very relevant issue we're talking about in terms of how we take teachers for granted. They say that normally people who shape your career or your future or your personality are your parents and teachers, and how we take teachers for granted, and we obviously forget about them. Unless you're a Sachin Tendulkar who still recalls who his teacher was. So it's very relevant in that sense, but the movie is not. It's still a slice of life. It's also about relationships with people, being together. And it's a great film.
And actually, I'd say it's not really just about teachers.
Yeah, it's not.
About us. It's
Yeah.
about us and what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And also there's this the education system, there's an issues about how education, like say medicine, like anything else, has become a quote-unquote business.
A business, yeah.
Right. So, which has its merits and demerits also. So that's the backdrop.
Right.
But we follow the story of Juhi's character and Shamanaji's character, who go through certain things that happen in their particular school, given the background of what's going on. And we follow their stories and what they have to deal with the system and how they fight back. It's it's a Rocky of teachers. And you see them.
Please don't take him seriously.
No, of course.
We didn't.
We start the film with Juhi and Shavana doing push-ups and pull-ups and stuff like that. and then Rocky. So no, that's not it.
Tell me about your character.
My character, I play Juhi's doting, loving, practical, realistic husband.
And he is a computer engineer.
Okay.
And right now we were foxed with what all you were doing with us.
It's called, for you kids who are watching, it's called acting. You don't have to go to the moon to be an astronaut, right?
Whoa!
That's the line of the interview.
So I play the supporting husband, and who's kind of practical in his own way, but also when she puts her foot down, he knows what's good for him, and sees the merit of what she's saying, and then the supports, and they have a little kid, and normally you have the guy being the Rocky and the girl going behind. Here, girl's the Rocky and the guy with the towel.
Oh,
I'm holding
new
the
age
towel.
man.
So I'm holding the towel. Yeah, it's just the metropolitan man, is that it?
Metrosexual?
Metrosexual.
Okay. Remember, if you guys are watching this live, you can send in your questions as well, and I have some of yours from Twitter and Instagram. Now, I remember when I went to school, I went to Modern Barakamba for a few years in Delhi. Did you? Are you serious?
I live next door.
Yeah, modern school.
Way back. And I
My
remember
niece
it
went
was
there.
a class full of like 80 students,
Right.
and I used to be petrified some of my teachers. Okay, there was like some who would just be really scary. Do you have any school memories of teachers, the ones that really scared you or that you really loved that still come to mind?
Juhi?
Sure. I mean, yeah. When you think of school, it's all the naughty things you did in school, and all the times you got punished. It's not.
What did you get punished for? What did you do?
Well, nothing outrageous, but definitely enough to get chucked out of class and made to stand outside through the whole period.
Yeah.
Once I was trying to be the good Samaritan. It was 7th standard.
Yeah.
There was a surprise geography test, and nobody had studied. Coincidentally, I had opened my books the previous day, so I had some inkling of what is going on.
Yeah.
कि ये question है तो इसका answer थोड़ा बहुत मेरे को आता है. My friend on my right and the aisle was here, and then my friend there had no
clue.
They were like, okay, we are done. This is a D or an E coming this way.
No.
So I then thought, okay, so while I'm writing my answers, I'm just whispering them out so they can.
Juhi cheated. Juhi was a cheater. She cheated.
I didn't realize it's pin drop silence. Obviously, I'll get heard. My teacher was like,
oh no. But you were trying to help your friend.
It's like a thief saying I'm going to help my family.
I feel like you got in much worse trouble. Right?
No,
Something tells me that you got in more trouble than
Never
that.
judge a book by its cover.
No.
All right. So, having said that, there were situations. I was a good student, and there was one situation I recall because we get this question all the time. And I think I was in 9th standard or something. And our main teacher was for that one particular subject. She was absent. And when the teacher is absent, it's like, yeah. She was celebrating. And Wi-Fi is gone.
So just ask Nasha and switch it to another one. No problem. Okay, we're fine on this.
This one's working?
Yeah.
Alright, so the teacher was absent that day, and we all celebrated. Yeah, off day. And before you knew it, there was the substitute teacher who showed up.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh man, this sucks. And luckily for us, she was a young teacher, just out of college, and this was an all-boys school.
Oh my god.
So we all were like, ho ho, God is shining on us. So she walked in, but as luck would have it, she started teaching. I'm like, man, that can't happen. And that time I was the monitor of the class.
Wow.
So I was like kind of the ringleader, and so the guys were like, Sami, come on, let's do something. So I said, all right. So before she started, I said, ma'am, we have a ritual that when a new teacher comes, she has to introduce herself to us. And very politely, she said, oh, I'm so and so, this. And one by one, every student got up and introduced himself. Hi, I'm Rajiv Kapoor. And we were like cracking up. And that's not the funniest part. The best part, that took about 15 minutes of the class time.
Yeah.
And while they were doing that, I went out and she was referring to certain notes. And we took the notes and hid her notes.
Oh.
She was just poor, she was a young girl, she was just out of college. But that's what you do in your school.
But she must have had fun also in class.
I don't know.
boys will be
Boys' school, strange things happen.
I can just imagine. But actually, in your entire career, Juhi, I heard this is the first time you played a school teacher, is that right?
yes, that's right.
Was it how do you train? Do you ever have to do some sort of research and stuff for that? Or you just go based on memories and your experiences?
Mahesh Bhattji said a very interesting thing. He said the most difficult thing to do in front of a camera is to do nothing. He's an actor, you would know. The moment a camera is switched on, you feel you have to do something. You want to know what to do with your hands, what should I do with my eyes. It's not easy just to be
yourself. Yeah.
And otherwise, when the camera is not on, you're yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
And here again was this role where I just have to be. I am a normal person. I don't have to have perfect hair or great clothes or something. I must.
Having said that, she looked really great.
She looked amazing.
She looked amazing.
वो तो मेरी पुरानी आदत है यार.
Also because you don't age. I don't know what the secret is. My whole beauty team wants to know what is she using on her skin and her hair. Literally.
So actually, I got nervous with this role because I was like, when you're playing a villain, you will do something. You will make faces. You will add some mirch masala.
Yeah.
Here you do nothing. And just, enjoy it, and when you have to, be that little extra. So I thought I'd do great homework and go, and suddenly thought of Amir Khan and thought I'll do all of that, observe teachers and see how they are. Nothing happened. The shoot was on. I had to go to the sets and figure it out right there.
Yeah, that's amazing. So is there something that you've like, because we talk about this new generation and how it's rapidly changing so fast. So what's the one thing you've learned from your children? Like, are there things that you now see and you're like, wow, because also moving at this, like 2-year-olds can use their iPads and it's out of control, right?
Yeah.
What do you learn from your children? My daughter's 3. She just turned 3. And I just learned how stupid I was when I was 3. When you're 3 years old, and she's like, no, Papa, this is the way. And she walks into my room and said, where's the remote? And she's 3.
Yeah.
And she like aim at the AC and switch it on.
That's amazing.
So, at that age, but the newer generation, and some of them are like standing there with phones there. Oh, way too smart because they're exposed to the world. It's fantastic.
So what's your rule going to be? At what point can she bring like a boyfriend home? 45.
I'm kind of making them up as I go along.
Okay.
My first thing was to let her be.
Okay.
All right. I said, look, you do what you want to do. If you fall, I'll catch you.
That's
all right.
awesome.
That's your life. It's your life. You learn by your mistakes and stuff. You need me, I'll be around.
Yeah.
But now she doesn't listen to me. So I'm about to change.
she's only
I'm going to throw my parent card in too soon because I am the daddy. All right, you do as I say.
Let me know how that goes.
All this thing, even my wife keeps saying, yeah, that's fine. I was like, no, that's okay, let them be. And next time she said, come in here, and she said, no, I'm going to my room.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so yeah, they're way too smarter. I love them. I love kids. Kids in the sense, the newer generation, it's just incredible. Just the energy, the positivity, and the way they see life, and the way they take chances. Also, they have the opportunity. That's fabulous. I love the young generation in the country today.
Is there some lesson that you would give your kids, like something that you want them to know that you learned in school or didn't learn in school?
I just say today, he just said something, and I'd like to add to that mine is a bit of a concern for them. I feel there's just too many options, and there's just too much information, and there's just too much connectivity. I think it may also confuse kids. Where you don't know whether you want to follow your own little voice or you want to follow everybody else because this noise around you is so loud.
There's that whole thing called FOMO, right? You guys know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out. So as a result, you never commit to anything because if you
Malini, you're the new generation,
I have FOMO. I'm really
you are. No, FOMO.
Tell anyone know that.
Just to add to what Juhi was saying, that what I would like to tell my child or my daughter is what I've learned from my life in terms of the experience when we were growing up. I'm sure Juhi can relate to that as well. Is that the first thing and the foremost thing in your life was education. Come first in class. I grew up in a family. My dad pretty much said, "Look, as long as you're coming first in the class, you can go kill someone. I'm okay with that." Literally. But so we grew up just thinking about academics. We grew up fearing parents
and teachers.
Fearing that. And now I look back, I was just telling Juhi, I'm a qualified financial analyst and I'm acting. And none of my academics is really helping me. So more than academics, it's how well-rounded you are, how much you know who you are, what you want to do. There are people in our generation who are doing a job for 20 years and they don't know why they're doing it. But they're doing it because they had no choice So that's one thing is follow your dream. I'm still like an idealist that way. Just follow your dream. Find out what you like. Find out what you want to do. Most important thing, which my parents never taught me or our generation, is find out what makes you happy. It's not important to be successful. It's far more important to be happy. I'd rather be happy than successful.
That's a really good lesson. Actually, that actually comes to my next question. Is like, I always feel, you learn all the math and the science and everything in school, but some of the life skills, like they don't teach girls how to deal with heartbreak. Like no one takes you aside and says, someday some guy's gonna break your heart. That's how you
no one tells these boys about rejection.
Rejection.
Hey, would you go on a date with me? No. Oh, you're busy. Oh, okay. What, your sister, will she go on a date with me? Oh, she's married. Would your neighbor go on a date with me? Would the neighbor's dog go on a date with me?
So do you think that in the next generation there should be some class? What kind of teaching should they add to schools now that is required for this generation, that you would love your kids to learn?
I think nothing needs to be added.
No?
I think they are so aware. The biggest teacher in this whole world is life. It's going to teach you. You can't preempt, you can't protect yourself, you can't escape failure, rejection, falling down. Life is going to teach you that anyways. You don't need to be taught in class. I can tell you all, say Malini, if something goes wrong, you should do ABC.
Yeah.
Unless you've experienced it,
You can't.
You
won't
can't.
listen.
You
Yeah,
know,
you
so-
won't
so
learn
I-
either.
The most important thing is to know about the world and life, and the life teaches you. So I don't think there should be an extra class. I think they have enough classes to worry about anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Juhi, I heard your daughter wants to become an actress. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, she goes through phases. It started that she wanted, and she's really good with writing
Yeah.
and reading and voracious reader. So first it was, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to be, what's that? Harry Potter.
Oh,
The writer.
J.K.
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling.
Because J.K. Rowling became,
Yeah.
she exploded on the scene and she
Yeah.
was richer than the queen. So Janvi thought, oh, wow, this is the way to go.
So your daughter wants to be rich.
So that was that. And then she said, oh, and then maybe she went out and she saw some shows or something. She thought, that's it, I want to be a model. Now I don't know what it is, and it's
Yeah.
acting. So let me see how long this phase lasts.
But you're cool with whatever she does. She wants to
Yeah,
do.
so long as she, like, it's something she has chosen and she works at it. All I keep telling her is, whatever it is, then do your best
Do
at
it,
it.
yeah. And it's not easy. Like everyone
Yeah.
looks at what you guys do for a living. They're like, oh, anyone who. But it's so hard. Like I have no idea how you guys.
Well,
do
nothing
it.
is easy.
Nothing is easy. Yeah, this is
But
true.
our profession seems to look a little more easier than it actually is. It's deceptive.
So just going back to the film, I believe this is sort of a film that has it has a moral to it, right? So what is the moral and the essence of this film without having to give too much away? What's the lesson people are going to walk away with?
I'll tell you what I realized. I had never, in all my life, thought of my teacher beyond the fact that she walks in,
Yeah.
she teaches you something, half of which you didn't understand, then comes homework, and God help you if you didn't
Don't
do
do
it.
it.
And then it was exams and it's total anxiety.
Yeah,
That was it. That
that's
was a
true.
teacher for me.
Yeah.
But I never understood or realized that the lady has a life. She's got a family. She's managing home. There might be good days, bad days, days when she's tired, overwhelmed, or has trouble to deal with. I never thought of her as a person. This film makes you realize that. And also, I never thought of this before. Until it was almost spelled out to me that teaching is the only profession that makes all other professions possible.
That's really true.
I
Wow.
was like, oops.
Yeah. If
Hey,
there were no teachers,
no
there would be no
matter
doctors
who
and
we are,
engineers.
that's true.
Excellent.
No matter, you're speaking English, you're on television, the way you carry yourself, some things you have learned all along your school and college life. You picked
How
up
did you get that? Like that's an amazing observation.
through
through the film.
through the film while working and going through these scenes
you
and
discuss
then
obviously.
realizing,
You
when
discuss.
you're like, oh my god, and that it all comes across in the film without it being a lesson to you. It just comes across in the story.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what I realized, and that's why this film is not just about your teacher and what she's doing. It's about you.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. And how was it with Shabana Azmi on set? Like, it must have been just incredible, right? Being around.
Well,
her.
I didn't have much to do with her, but
Yeah.
I've interacted with her quite a few times. I've done a play with her, or been a part of the play that she also does. The good thing about good actors is I've had the good fortune of working with all the Susan Sharma, Karina Nichols, and now Juhi Chawla.
No autographs, no autographs, please.
The good thing is they make your job easy.
Okay.
It's like, if you look at, if Juhi's playing my wife, for example, and I look into her eyes and I see a wife,
Yeah.
then it makes my job easy and I feel like a husband. But if I see an actress acting like a wife, then that will throw me off as well.
Right.
So good actors always bring your level of performance a notch higher. So with same with the Shabana ji, one of the sequences I had with her, is that she's so comfortable in her own skin and the
Yeah.
character that you never feel like the reactions come out pretty automatically.
Yeah.
So it was quite great.
It was so great to see so many women with strong.
I was going to
roles,
say that
you know?
we've been harping about
Yeah.
teachers thing and stuff. One of the things that I really love about the film is the poster we have with Juhi and Shivanji on a scooty.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's
Absolutely love
awesome.
that
That's
because
true.
it's also about
Yeah.
It's a slice of life.
incidentally is also and incidentally that they're teachers, but they're also fighting for their right.
Yeah.
They're fighting over for they
And they
believe
would,
in,
yeah.
and it's the spirit and the flavor of the film is refreshing. As opposed to a couple of guys wearing sunglasses with this.
What movie are you talking about?
Tons of them, name it, every one of them.
But so what do you think now? So it's so many years have passed and so many strong-willed characters have been there in films. Do you think Bollywood has changed now? That it's still hard for women after a certain point in their career to do strong characters and have leads, or now that's changed and now people are coming up with stories for the women in cinema?
Actually, I don't agree with this. I think there were roles then as well. There was alternate cinema going on at the same time. That's why Shyam Benegalji is Shyam Benegalji, Govind Nihalani is Govind Nihalani, Basu Bhattacharya is who he was, Rishikesh Mukherjee was who he was, Shabana Azmi ji is who she is.
That's true.
So Tabu was during our time. She was the one who did that
those.
parallel cinema, and then she had those roles, Astitva and all that.
Yeah.
So I think it has just been there all along, and we are just in the present, so we only remember what's going on 2 years before and what's to happen now. But the lovely part, I feel, is we're fortunate. We're at the time where earlier there was just films. Now there is films, there's television. Now we're on
social media everywhere.
Everywhere.
We are on whatever this is.
Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, Snapchat.
So we have a lot of alternatives, and you can do theatre and enjoy yourself there. There's everything. You're doing theatre.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing now?
I've been doing a play for 12 years.
Which one?
It's one of the longest running plays in Mumbai. It's called Anything But Love.
I've seen that, of course. I thought
How dare you ask me that question?
Sorry.
I thought watching the play was going to be a life-altering experience.
I'm going to go watch it again. I'll take my husband, he hasn't seen it. But
it's a must for couples.
Yeah? So I want to ask you on the same vein, there's all these movies that come out, big blockbusters and everything. Is there a movie you've seen recently where you were like, damn, that was good and it should have gotten more attention?
Firstly, just to take up on the last question you asked, in terms of for women, like Juhi very correctly said, I mean, there have always been subjects, there have always been films about women, with women in the central characters. It's, in the end, it's a business, right? Everything, and that's why it's so important for people to watch this film as well. Because it's not enough to make a statement by not going to see quote-unquote bad films or certain kind of cinema. It's also good, you have to go take an extra step and effort to see what you want to see. If the films with, which were women oriented were making 200, 300 crores, everyone's going to be making them. So all of us can sit and talk and say, well, they're not being made because you're not going and watching them. And goes to all women. You guys are up there with women's right and this and that, but do you go see a movie which has a woman as a central character? If you don't, then shut up, don't talk about it. So I think it's also the business aspect, and it's, so you guys should, actually, I think that's what you see.
Wow, God, really serious over
Sami
here.
has spoken.
He's put on his boxing gloves. So a movie that you think that people should go see that maybe didn't get enough attention recently? Anything?
Oh, not that it didn't get enough attention, but right now you can give it attention. Chalk and Duster.
Chalk and Duster. I'm actually really dying to see this. You should go ahead and watch and make sure you send me a message as well. Who's the last person you texted?
Who's the last person you texted? I texted her PR person because we were trying to coordinate getting here.
Right.
I was asking for directions. I didn't know where your office was. That's the last person.
And you, Juhi?
I think.
Well, she can't take his name.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Let's create a controversy.
No, go for it.
Let's talk about.
All right. A movie that you in your career have really, really enjoyed doing, have been so proud of that you want to start from the beginning and do it again because it was so much fun.
I have many of those. I can't have just one. I had so much fun doing, say, even QS.
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
हम है राई प्यार से बोल राधा बोल आईना
Okay, now she's showing off. Now she's just showing off.
फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तान. Yes, boss. I'll go on. Somebody
Done.
Make sure you send us a message with which one is your favorite film as well. What was your favorite?
My first film. That was the greatest experience of my life because I was working with Juhi Chawla, Amrish Puri, Shankar Panda, and it was my first film, and Rajkumar Santoshi, and one of my first sequences in the film was that my director came up to me. It was one of the important sequences in the film, and he lined up all of them in front of me. There were 11 actors, and big names like Nasiruddin. Wow. And I had a 2-page monologue.
No.
He said,
That's
my first
great.
movie,
Yeah.
he says, show me what you're made of. And that was the best experience I've had.
Wow.
I
would have forgotten that.
You wouldn't believe it, but we were shooting in this place where there was no direct flights, so we went by train. And I remember we took this train, and in the train I was sitting there, and Omji is here, and Amrish is here, Nasirji is here, Danny is here, and stuff. And I'm like, oh shit.
You're like,
oh,
head is
shit.
exploding.
And I reached there, the first thing I called my mom was, Mom, you know what happened? I was in the same train as all these guys.
That's so
The
amazing.
single most beautiful experience of my life.
That's incredible.
Now immediately go quickly like and subscribe, and make sure you follow us, double tap on Instagram, and we'll be back with lots more soon.